Lightsabers, the ultimate weapon of the galaxy. But would it work in a real fight? Let's find out. So, lightsabers are the ultimate weapon of the Jedi and the Sith, Force users, and general groups. But we want to know, how practical would they be in a real fight? Of course, there's some caveats here because these aren't real lightsabers. They are really well done lightsabers from Maz sabers.
And there's no such thing as real lightsabers.
No, there's not. These are no, you're fine. These are Maz sabers. They're really good lightsabers. They are really durable. We did a whole Renaissance Festival show with them. We've batted them around a lot. They're still going. They're still working great. I've had these for almost 6 months now. Still doing well. Charge up, nice sound. So they're what we're using today. So what the rules we're going to go with for this are, there's debate on this. Some people say the lightsaber is a weightless weapon, as in the blade has no weight to it. It's just an energy weapon, so the only weight is the hilt. Originally, Lucas said that the lightsaber itself was very heavy. That's why they did just this. Mostly it's because there was wires involved and it was all kinds of, it was technical stuff.
It
but,
also Lucas.
Yes, it's a whole other thing. But so because we cannot make these weightless, this has a weight to it. We're going to go with the theory and what is in every movie and every depiction of lightsabers you've ever seen, which is that this blade somehow has mass.
Because the actors are swinging something.
They're swinging something around. It has to be tracked. They're not just motion tracking nothing. So every lightsaber that you've ever seen in anything that used motion capture or that was filmed, that lightsaber has mass, and that's what we're going to go with today. This it's very light, but it does have mass to it. The other thing that we're going to say is, so there's what we would want to ask is, do energy weapons repel? Do they attract? Or do they smooth, frictionlessly glide? So if these are two energy weapons...
Do they not repel and maybe stick a little? Stick
a little bit. So like if they went together, would they stick? And we would kind of not be able to move them very easily? Because they're energy weapons, maybe that energy would do that. Or would they repel each other and they'd be hard like magnets trying to push against each other, bouncing constantly? Or would they touch and be able to frictionlessly glide?
Guess which one we're going to go with.
Yeah, we're going to go. Because these can't do either of those things, they're going to frictionlessly glide. Right. Was there anything else that we
just something about how you do not have to worry about edge alignment?
No, you do not, because this is
sideways, all directions.
Yeah. With a real sword, you can only cut in one direction with the edge, maybe two if it's double-edged. With this,
or thrust.
Yeah, or thrust. Yeah. Everything's an edge. So no matter how, and honestly, no matter how light the contact is, it's probably going to be the end of the fight. Even if I just whiff Matt, like it would have to be a very, very light whiff for this not to be the end of the fight, and it would still hurt like hell. Mm-hmm. So for the purposes of this, any touch is going to count. With all that said, let's go ahead and have a lightsaber battle. Yeah. I don't know about you, but this is fulfilling some nerdy childhood fantasies.
Oh yeah, definitely. I don't have to make the noises myself.
Okay, here we go. Ready? Fence. Touch. Yeah.
Would have been enough.
You know what I did? My fingers, yeah.
We're going to show his fingers again.
I guess you?
Nope.
So really quickly you notice that we're going for each other's hands because they're the closest target, and the other thing about this is there's no guard. All I have to do is slide down his hand. Just tap. It's gonna hit those fingers. Let's go ahead and try and be a little fancy.
Okay.
Okay, ready? Here we go. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that was dumb. I can't do that. I tried to do German longsword and I touched myself with it.
Yeah, you can't rest this on your shoulders.
I touched that before you got me when it stopped you.
Probably.
Yeah. Double. That was my hands.
My hand got hit at some point too.
With a cross guard and without any, I would have been able to roll through that, but since his hands made contact, or his lightsaber made contact with my hands, it wouldn't have, it was too much. Oh yeah, one hand. Yeah.
Barely dodged, or not dodged, but kind of avoided it. Sorry.
It's my thumb.
Sorry, man.
It's like,
You got my leg a little bit, I think.
yeah, my hand. I'm going back to 2 hands.
Okay.
You can do 1.
No. Well, yeah, we can try 2
Let's
versus
try
1.
it. 2 versus 1, yeah? Yeah, I got that. Yeah, nice feint. Okay, a little bit more.
That's something that you could do really interesting stuff with, actually.
Yeah.
Because if you try and do like directional changes and stuff with a heavier, not heavy, but a steel blade, the momentum would make it so it's hard to.
Additionally, trying to find that edge alignment after the change is hard.
Yeah.
So
but
I
can do a feint and just with side tap.
Yep, yeah. You'll notice that almost none of the cuts we've had so far have been to the body. Almost everything's been to the arm or the hands.
Yep, or your head.
Only once, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dang. I used
know,
up all my points on the longsword fighting.
It's a lightsaber. I'm basically using it like a saber.
Yeah. You slid out. There's no guard.
Yeah. Oh, good one.
It was very light.
Yeah, it would have definitely hurt me though.
It's a lot of doubles.
Yep. You put through the parry a little bit and got me here.
The lightsaber that would do it.
Yep.
Did I get
A little bit on my arm, I think.
You got me good there. Oof.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. Woo!
I mean, I feel like even if you are using something that might not require that much force to hurt someone,
Yeah.
you might as well.
Yeah, might as well.
If you're trying to kill him, you might as well just go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially if it's light enough.
Yeah.
Mine thinks it's like.
Tap it.
Moving.
Tap the button.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah. I do fancy stuff, I just can't do it with lightsabers.
Probably a double. Push through this thing.
I get you on my hand?
I don't think so.
It's on my hand.
I didn't feel anything.
You rely on the crosshair a lot. More than you think you do. Yeah, you got me on the way in.
Yeah, but I think I touched your blade as I was coming in. Which you can't touch. That's another thing with some swords, like a rapier or whatever. You can put your hand on the blade as long as it's not moving.
Yeah.
Not this, obviously.
Double. Oh, hold on. Oh, that's not good.
What?
Oh, there's a little thing on the inside I'm going to fix later.
Oh.
I'm going to have to clean up the edge of the blade too. They're not made for this, but they're doing a great job.
Oh, sorry if I'm moving it too
Oh,
hard.
you're doing great. Okay.
So actually, I'm finding that keeping some kind of blade contact doesn't really make a lot of
Doesn't
sense.
how much?
Because
Yeah, it's easy to.
it's so easy to just wiggle around and
That's a
slide.
You know, it's a whole different type of hose. Wait, sorry.
If you're in a movie, you do it.
You know, I'm trying to think, because there's defenses I can do that. Now we're in this whole thing where it's a different kind of feeling game.
Almost like this Ezra right here.
Yeah.
With a lot of blade feel.
You might have touched it.
I think I touched your hand on the way in, but I wasn't meaning to. I just kept it out there. Good one.
But I beat your blade, but the flat came back and touched my hand.
Right, you beat it, and then I just naturally came back.
Yep. It wouldn't have done anything if it was a real sword.
What? Your cut?
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
I would have had a guard.
Oh, you're talking about if you have. Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
Your coming back in wouldn't have done anything.
No. If we were using sabers or something, you probably would have had a guard coming out of
Yeah,
that.
and because I don't, and also in the flat, or maybe at the very edge.
Yeah.
Finger.
No, it's just so weird
It's
because
so weird.
normally you can completely ignore that.
Alright, let's see.
I thought you were gonna hit me.
I did too. got you! I got you!
I know.
Cheater!
You were up close and I wanted to do something cool. Sorry.
You're
I
good.
got my hand too.
One more.
Okay.
Yep, here's one more that's not just a finger touch.
Okay.
This will be fun. You're both dead.
Yeah, you got my hand.
You got my neck.
I think I might have decapitated you.
I think I think it was not across, it was up, so my head might be in two pieces.
Ooh.
All right.
Just from the jaw up.
So, let's hold it for.
I got it.
Yeah. So, these are durable. I mean, I have to clean
It's
the blade.
pretty durable.
But yeah, I mean, that's just
Yeah,
stuff
some marks
from
on it
mask.
from the
No,
mask
yeah.
material.
And they're gonna have to be tightened a bit, but that happens. All lightsabers need to be tightened.
Sure.
These are,
In fact, if it weren't able to be tightened, that might mean it would break or something.
yeah. This, I'm really impressed with this.
Yeah, it feels good in your hand too.
So yeah, like I said, these are Maz sabers. There's a link in our links that has more information on them. They're really cool. They're color changing, so it's an LED down here. Changes colors to anything you want. A bunch of different sound fonts, some other stuff. Really durable. I don't think they sell them as dueling blades. Like they don't sell them for
Like
full on, because there are places that do that, but they're holding up pretty good. Now, granted, we don't do this with them all the time. We mostly use them for choreography, but still, they're doing a great job. But okay, takeaways. Lightsaber combat.
It's very weird to be fencing with something that doesn't require any I almost said force.
Any force. Any physical force.
Not really any physical force
Yeah.
to damage someone.
You can just slide it across the blade.
No hand protection is weird.
You'll notice that the ones that are actually made for the combat, they have a disc here. Kind of like the katanas thing, but like a lot wider. It's like this wide for the people who do this as an actual sport.
Oh, okay.
Which we don't do.
What, to protect their?
Yeah,
to actually protect
yeah.
their
So that you can't just.
because they're a little beefier.
No, I mean it's probably this is like a mid grade, so it might be a little harder than this. But they have it so that there's a disc at the end, so you can't just slide down and whack people in the hands, which is what we found. But
that's what you would do.
Exactly. And there's another thing, right? There are materials out there that can resist lightsabers. I know that a lot of you out there are thinking I'm talking about Beskar from The Mandalorian. But before that, back in the old days of the nerds, we had cortosis, which is one of the materials that would not be cut by a lightsaber, or at least not immediately. And there was, I think it was Dunium. I want to say Dunium, but I'm probably wrong. The Death Star was made out of it. It wasn't cortosis, it was something else.
In case someone had a giant lightsaber?
Yeah, in case someone had a giant lightsaber. You could just like go into the Death Star, turn on a lightsaber, and let it go all the way through.
They did it.
Yeah, but cortosis is actually in the holes of a lot of the ships that they do. So
it's just a generally very strong chip.
Yeah, it can reflect blaster fire and it can withstand lightsabers. There's some of the.
That's one of the cool things about Star Wars. You just make stuff up.
You can't just make stuff up.
I'm not saying
well, lightsabers made up too. Yeah. But like they had some characters who they wouldn't have lightsabers, but they had cortosis infused weapons like vibro blades that could parry a lightsaber. So that's kind of cool. And if I was that kind of person, I would make the lightsaber itself out of cortosis, and I'd make a gun.
Is it flexible?
What? I mean, it's just like steel, but better.
What if you could make cortosis gauntlets or something?
Probably. I mean, you could probably just make cortosis armor. I don't know how heavy it is.
Yeah, but I would think of like a bracer and a gauntlet would be kind of.
If it's canonically strong and light enough to be made into blades, and again, canon is all kinds of messy now because Disney. But I mean, in the Darth Bane trilogy, there's a character who has cortosis blade that fights against one of the Jedi, and almost wins. So anyway, yeah, but the lightsaber itself, going under the standards that we just talked about, which are that it is not weightless, it has a weight to this because we have to, that it is a frictionless, smooth glide. It's like, it would devolve into just attacking each other's hands.
Sure, and I guess we're talking about it in the context of two, either Jedi or Sith, people who know how to use one fighting each other.
Yeah.
So they would both, any drawback for you is also a drawback for them.
Yes. So. Well, and the other thing you have to think about is that they talk about lightsabers being something that only a Jedi could use. And so a lot of the stuff, the canonical reason they're doing all the flips and stuff like that, they talk about this, is to confuse your enemy, because if you're a Jedi or a Sith, you have an element of precognition, so you can read the other opponent's emotions, their attacks, you kind of know what they're going to do next. So what they talk about in some of the books is all of these sequences that they'll learn that are designed to be memorized so you do them without thinking. It's a bunch of weird stuff. It was written by people who are great storytellers but were not fencers.
Like go into a trance or something?
Basically, you go into doing these sequences and you can switch between them very easily. You don't think about lightsaber combat anymore. You just think about using the Force and exerting your will.
Yeah, I mean, if I knew how to use the Force and I was really good at it, I might try to just like force you into the wall.
Well, there's a whole other thing about them using the Force to create a shield around themselves when they get into the lightsaber. There's a lot of extra stuff that goes into this that's deep Star Wars lore that I could get into, but for the sake of this video,
we're
going to
using
go ahead.
a weapon like this.
Using a weapon like this, it's mostly going to be hand strikes, and it's mostly going to be trying to disable your opponent, because as soon as I disable him,
very quick things.
it's over.
Holding, I would want it in front of me
Yeah.
most of the time because it forces the person to deal with it, keeps it there as a threat.
Yeah.
Which is what I do with swords in general anyway.
Right.
But to me, the real point is to have a cool, bright blade in a movie that you swing around like crazy and it makes awesome noises.
Yeah, I wouldn't want lightsaber fighting to look like this in the movie.
I want it to be.
Really cool. Not necessarily like it is in all the
but
movies.
some parries and strikes.
Exactly. And then you can watch some of this. If you want to know how I want lightsaber stuff to look at my lightsaber videos. Anyway, so thank you for watching. What should they do to the like button?
Saber it.
Save
it?
Saber it.
No, you save it.
Save it?
It's a saber, and it saves.
No, I hate that.
I'm sorry.
Fine, you can save the like button. I just hurt Matt's feelings. What can you do to the subscribe button? Force choke the subscribe button! Thank you for watching. If you enjoy this or any of our other content, please consider supporting us on Patreon or YouTube memberships. Your support allows us to continue making this content and to upgrade our weapons and gear so we can keep bringing you fresh, new silliness.